Greetings YouTube, Joe here with Culination Media and welcome back to another episode of Metroid Prime. This is episode number 11 and in the last episode we made it into Glacier 1, which is the research section of Phendrana Drifts. We have a new research entry here. If you scan this Talon 4 planet hologram thingamajiggy below us that we turned on last time with the spinners. I guess I'll just start reading from the bottom here. At the current rate of decay, Talon 4 will be a barren Class 8 wasteland in approximately 25 years. So it's just talking about the active ecosystem, how it's been corrupted with Phazon, all that other stuff. All these other planets obviously are not going to be entries into the logbook. The only one that will be a new research thing in the logbook is the Talon 4, so as long as you have that one scanned, you're good to go as far as that is concerned. In the last episode, we also obtained the Super Missile, which is, as I mentioned, one of my personal favorite items of the game. And it's actually one of the few weapons, beam-related weapons, from Metroid Prime, the first one that is, that we're playing now, that they actually kept later on, because in the two games that come after this, they just decided that they wanted to replace all of the beams and a lot of the weapons and stuff, and I didn't necessarily agree with that, and I'm sure a lot of you who played the first one when it came out also did not agree with that. Most specifically with the Dark and Light Beam edition in Echoes, and then even worse, I think, than that with the ammo system was the fact that you didn't even have a choice to change beams in the third game, which I thought was ridiculous. Anywho, we're gonna have a new item here in a second. Not a new item, a new enemy here in a second, but first we have some standard space pirates that we have to defeat here at this control tower area. So just use the same tactics. You have a lot of places that you can take cover from. There's a couple of these boxes and containers that are explosive, so be careful about that. It's going to be the blue ones that look like little cylinders. After you kill all the space pirates, this little cutscene will ensue, and oh great, space pirates with robot jetpacks. Yes, that's a thing. Make sure you scan them. They're called flying pirates. Pirates trained and equipped for airborne assault. Flying pirates, such a creative name. Flying pirates are extremely agile in the air, but the heat signatures of their jetpacks can be tracked using thermal imaging. While their missiles are extremely potent, their jetpacks can be even more so. If the pack fails, they will make a suicide strike. So, with our current weapons, we can't do anything to avoid that. It's going to take a bunch of missiles and charge beam shots in order to kill them. Luckily, I hit an explosive on that first one there, so he was killed by that and didn't do a suicide dive like so. Anywho, oh, there's more. You do have to kill all of the pirates and enemies in this room in order to be able to move on, so don't think you can just run through. You're not going to be able to do that. I do recommend using the wave beam, however, because it has a built-in homing device on the charge beam for the wave beam that the power beam doesn't have, so especially because these enemies move all over the place. If you use the power beam, a lot of times when they move, you're going to end up missing. So stick with missiles and the wave beam charged up and just alternate that and you'll be good to go. Alright, so you can jump into these towers here, and there's actually going to be a Chozo Artifact that will be in this area that we can't get until later on. I believe we need the plasma beam, I want to say. Regardless, it's not, regardless of what weapons we need, we don't have it at this point, so I'm not going to really worry about it. So we'll be back later on for that, towards the end of the game. Alright, so the door that we want to go through is this one right here. And it doesn't appear as though there's anything else in this room that I want to grab, so we can move on. And access to Research Lab Aether. And for those of you that are familiar with the Metroid Prime series, you'll know that Aether is the planet that is the setting for the second game. So it kind of makes sense. I don't know where they came up with Hydra, but whatever. Alright, so more Bombus here. You kill them very easily, as usual, with the wave beam. And when we come into this next room here, we're going to meet an enemy, a classic enemy that actually I'm surprised that it took this long for us to meet. But there we go. It's a Metroid. And these things are not fun, especially if you don't have any cold-based weapons, which we don't at this point. So these Metroids can get really, really annoying. Once we get the Ice Beam, these things will be a two-shot kill, but not at this point. Alright, Metroid, energy-based parasitic predator, and they look scary as hell. The dominant species of the planet, SR388. Metroids can suck the life force out of living things. A Metroid will latch onto its prey and drain energy, growing larger as it does. The only way to shake an attached Metroid is to enter Morph Ball mode and lay a bomb. 50% of all logbook scans downloaded. That fast? We're not even halfway through the game yet, but I guess we've been doing good with all the scans. Crap! These coming out to play. Okay. So, you're going to want to alternate missile shots and charge beam shots. When it has an electrical field over it, like so, when it was growing, you can't hit it, so wait till that dissipates. After you kill the Metroid with about 3 or 4 shots, a space pirate is going to jump through the glass towards away from the door, actually. And once he does so, we can now move on into the rest of the room. We have pirate data here. Initial transfer of Metroids to Talon 4 research facilities has been completed. 3 were terminated in an incident at the landing site, but the others were pacified and transported safely. Initial Phazon infusion testing is underway. We are eager to observe the effects of Phazon on Metroids, especially their ability to absorb and process the energy given off by Phazon sources. Considerable growth in power and size by elite research. Whether the creatures stay stable thereafter remains to be seen. So they're starting to really experiment with this Phazon stuff, and that's not good news for us. The Reconstruction of Geo Form 187, codenamed Ridley, was recently completed. I hate Ridley. After his defeat on Zebes, Command ordered a number of metagenetic improvements for him. Though aggressive, we were able to implement these changes in a cycle. The metamorphosis was painful, and that's why I'm sure he's so upset all the time, but quite successful in the end. Early tests indicated drastic increase in strength, mobility, and offensive capability. Just what Ridley needed. He wasn't fast or strong enough. Cybernetic modules and armor plating have been added as well. We believe our creation, now called Meta Ridley, will become the mainstay of our security force, a job he will certainly relish. Oh, indeed, I'm sure he will. He'll just love it. Thankfully, we don't have to come face to face with this Ridley until just about the very end of the game. Anyway, we are in Research Lab Aether currently, and more pirate data. There's going to be a missile expansion in here, by the way, that I'm not getting at this point. Confidence is high regarding Phazon applications. We know enough about Phazon now to begin combining it with space pirate DNA. The code name for this venture will be Project Helix. Preliminary studies indicate that Phazon infusion could produce radical new pirate genomes. Yikes. Benevolent mutation levels are high in current test subjects. Phazon madness is a concern, of course it is. But refinements in the infusion process should reduce or neutralize the odds of mental degeneration. Oh my goodness. Alright, Mr. Pirate, you came up at the wrong time. And there has to be more because I still hear the music. There you are. Yes, the music is definitely key for whether or not there's still space pirates around. That would have been awesome if I blew him over the edge with that missile. That would have been cool. I was aiming for that, but it didn't quite work out. Alright, so as I was saying, there is a missile expansion over there, as you can see. But I'm not going to be getting that missile expansion until later on. And unfortunately, it's going to be a little tricky to grab that because the lights are actually going to go out in here. But this is somewhat of a time-constrained episode because I've got a certain amount of things that I want to get done in this episode. Why won't this thing die? Holy crap. Die, Metroid! I cannot wait until I get the next beam weapon to kill these things easier. It's still not dead? Are you serious? Die! What in the world? There we go, finally. Holy crap. I don't think it's ever taken me that long to kill a Metroid before. Anywho, what I was saying was that this is going to end up being, I guess, somewhat of a longer episode. I'm assuming it's going to be over 20 minutes long, which is on the longer side. Anyway, let's read this. Studies of Metroid biology continue, though with limited progress. It seems likely that we will be much more successful using the Metroids for our means, rather than trying to reproduce their powers. If they could be adequately tamed, we would have no need of a proper understanding of their metabolism, which I guess I don't have. A small force of disciplined Metroids could wipe out entire armies. And once we find a way to shield them from cold containment weapons, they will be invincible. Awesome. Furthermore, if we could then harvest the energy they'd consumed, we would have a near limitless source of power at our disposal. And of course, that's what these evil space pirates are after. Endless amounts of power. Anyway, what I was saying was, because this is going to be a long episode, I'm not going to go too far off the path. I'll grab this energy tank really fast because it's kind of along the way. But I'll come back and get that missile expansion later on. Hopefully I remember that it's there, but yeah, that's that. Alright, so in this lab here, I don't know if there's any other pirate data to be scanned. I'm going to check these computers really fast before we move on. And it does not appear as though there are any that we missed. And these are just empty stasis tanks, so you can blow them up with missiles if you want. When you come back in later on, I believe there will be a Metroid in there. Oh, pirate data. I did miss one. Metroid dissection continues to provide more questions than answers. Our research teams have isolated the energy conduits that run from the invasive twin mandibles to the energy core in the creature's quadripartite nucleus. Wow, that was a difficult word. But the manner in which a Metroid actually extracts the life force from its prey remains an utter mystery. The victim does not lose blood or any other vital fluids, which is weird. And yet the Metroid extracts energy. Identifying this energy is our central problem. It takes no physical form, and yet without it, the victim dies. We will continue to research this matter, as the isolation of this life-giving essence could indeed be the key to our ascendance. Apparently they have a lot of keys to their ascendance. But anywho, that appears to be everything that we need to do in this room. Got all the items with the exception of that missile expansion that I mentioned. There's nothing in any of these stasis tanks here. You can blow them all up if you want. You just need a missile to do it. I probably shouldn't have blown them all up because I just wasted a bunch of missiles. But there are crates over here, so you can refill on missiles if you want to. Apparently they didn't want me to get refilled. What is that? Yes, just barely. Ice beetle, burrowing insect with an ice-reinforced carapace. Averse to heat, which of course we don't have. This member of the beetle family has adapted to life in the sub-zero temperatures in the Phendrana drifts, growing a thick ice shell over its entire body. The ice is extremely resilient, providing the ice beetle with extra protection and augmented digging ability. So yes, these things are a little bit hardier than the beetles that we saw in the Chozo ruins, although you can still kill them with a charge beam shot. So that much is easy. Once you get the plasma beam, it'll be even easier to kill them. Looks like we have more space pirates in this room here, and this is actually the target room for this episode, because there's going to be an item down at the bottom of this room as we make our way down this, it's like a ovular, circular room-ish. I don't know if it's actually in one of those shapes, but it seems to be. And we're going to be descending down in like a spiral fashion eventually, but we got to kill all these space pirates first. And there goes the flying pirates. And as you can see here, behind these glass walls, there's Metroids, and they're kind of all over the place. Not all of these little windows have Metroids in them, but I believe there's at least one or two on each of the levels of the room. Alright, so let's go downwards, because that's the only way that we have to go. I'm not sure if we've killed all the space pirates. I mean, the music did stop, so that's kind of a tip-off, but I imagine that once we get to the bottom, there's going to be more fighting to do. Oh, a turret. And I don't know if I can kill it from here, but I'm going to try. Yeah, got it. Alright. I hate those turrets. And it gets even worse later on in the game when they're more difficult to destroy, because they the space pirates are like, oh, we need to give these turrets hardier armor. And that makes Samus sad. Okay, so you're going to want to make sure that you're scanning all of these red computer scans, one on each level again, because there's 3 levels of I don't know, it looks like a some type of holographic barrier that is put up in front of the item that we need. I hear another turret. There it is. But you need to scan all 3 of them and lower each individual layer of the barrier in order to eventually get the item at the bottom. Otherwise, you're going to have to go all the way back up and find which ones you missed. So that part's not so cool. And I believe the last one is on this ground level, so I'm hoping so, because if not, I'm kind of screwed. And it looks like it is indeed. As you notice, right behind where that item is, there's an ice beam door. That's the white door. So we cannot actually go any farther here. We actually have to turn back. And the trek backwards, or I guess back towards the areas that we have already gone through, is actually a little bit more difficult than the trip here, because there's going to be enemies and whatnot, but unfortunately the lights are going to go out, so it's going to be more difficult to traverse these areas. But we've received the Thermal Visor. You can press down on the control pad to activate the visor, and you can use the Thermal Visor to search for hidden conduits, and anything that has a heat signature is going to be very easy to track with this visor, and we're going to be using it quite a bit, especially in the upcoming levels. And there we go. That's what it looks like. Pretty cool, huh? And yes, these shadow pirates, which is what these are now, and what most of the enemies are going to be from here on out, can easily be tracked. And as you can see, when you try to scan them or use the normal combat visor, it's not as effective at finding them as the Thermal Visor is. Alright, so once you kill all of the thermal, not the thermal, the blah, 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 what are they called? Oh my goodness. Shadow Pirates, there we go. I had a total brain fart. Oh man, alright, so of course, and when we try to go back up to the entrance of the room, we're going to be attacked by Metroids. They will come out, I believe, one at a time, so you're going to want to make sure that you kill them immediately and not have them just hover around the room, because even with the Thermal Visor and you being able to track their heat signatures, it's just not the best idea to have these Metroids floating around when you're not exactly sure where they are, because they can sneak up on you, and yeah, they can drain a lot of health really fast. So, anywho, alright, let's head back up. We will be needing to find a power conduit at some point, because as you saw in the cutscene, the power to the door was powered down for whatever reason, because I guess just the whole electrical system went down after we obtained the Thermal Visor. Kill that Metroid there, and I could use some missiles. Alright, so I believe the power conduit is on the top level. Actually, I can see it over there. It's on the left. Alright, I know where we're going here. We might as well head up. There's nothing else for us to grab in here. There's no missile expansions or energy tanks or anything, so don't worry about looking for those. And yeah, your only objective is to survive, which I know can be a difficult thing sometimes. And one last Metroid. Down it goes. And yeah, there's the power conduit. And you just need to shoot it with a wave beam in order to power it up. The door will come back online, and out we can go. Looks like a... what is that? A drone of some sort. Sentry drone, well-armed and armored security mecha. Fantastic. Sentry drones have limited intelligence, but do their assigned tasks well. Being machines, they are susceptible to, I'm guessing, electrical energy? To electrical attacks, yes. When alerted, drones initiate a security lockdown, so they'll lock the doors. Then they'll try to neutralize the intruder. Their electronic warfare suit can scramble visor technology as well. So as long as you can hit them with a couple of wave beam shots, you'll be good to go. If you hit it with a charge shot, it should kill it instantly. That's easier said than done, however. You can kill it with conventional weapons, but it's much faster to kill them with a wave beam shot. And yeah, they will do a lot of damage in a short amount of time because they have like double machine guns, and it's kind of ridiculous. Anywho, back into research lab. What is this? Aether? I think the first one's Hydra, so this one must be Aether. There is a Metroid in here as well in the tank behind me, and I'm guessing that it hasn't come out of its encasement yet, because if it has, I'd probably be dead at this point. We've also got some Shadow Pirates in here and a turret as well. So yeah, I would recommend taking out the turret very quickly, because that will follow you, whereas the Space Pirates, not so much. They can't shoot you from across the room. These Shadow Pirates are not very good at long-distance battles. So, there's the Metroid over there. Actually, there's two of them, so I might as well kill them. You can use a missile to break them out of their encasement, just to prevent them from breaking out of it later. I don't know at which point they actually are triggered to break out, but I don't want to take any chances. Like I said before, it's never a good idea to just leave Metroids floating around the room when you're not entirely sure where they are. Especially when we do not have the ice weapon that is necessary to really exploit their main weakness. So, we're going to kill this one too. Man, this thing is taking a really long time. Oh, it's a Alpha-type Metroid, whatever that is supposed to mean. I didn't know there was such a thing. These are actually supposedly like infant Metroids as well. So it's kind of scary, because eventually we're going to have to come in contact with some adolescent and older Metroids that are even more dangerous than these little guys that we've been facing lately. Anyway, I believe we're done in here now. So we've just got a couple of rooms left that we have to go through. Oh, there's still a space pirate up here. Where have you been hiding? Oh well, we blew his face off. Alright, I think that was the last enemy in this room. But anyway, as I was saying, we're just trying to get back to the save station at this point. And good thing I targeted that turret, otherwise I would have just jumped up there and got destroyed. But anywho, we're not that far from a save station. When we do get there, I will call it an episode, because, yeah, this episode is getting kind of long. We're already at the 23-minute mark. Anywho, moving on here. Don't believe there's anything else in here that I missed. Nope. There's some Bamus in this room. You, I guess, don't even need to have the Thermal Visor up to see them, but it doesn't matter. It's still kind of dark in here. Alright, so we're back at the control tower, and we're going to cross over from the Aether side to the Hydra side, and there are going to be enemies up here, the flying space pirates with the jetpacks, all that good stuff, but this time you do not have to kill them. You can just simply run on through and not worry about fighting them, or you can kill them, depends on how you feel about the subject. You can just use super missiles like what I did, and oh, there's more? Where the hell did you guys come from? I love using super missiles to blow these guys up. It is so much fun, it's not even funny. Although, admittedly, I probably use the super missile a little bit more liberally than I should at this point, because I really don't have that many missiles to begin with. I haven't really gone all out in searching for missile expansions. I haven't done a very good job at grabbing quite a few of them that I've just passed on through and just missed. Some of them on purpose, but other ones I've realized that I just missed it, and I'm gonna have to go back and grab those. But until that point, I'm stuck at however many ridiculously low amount of missiles I have at this point. So using a super missile all the time may not be the best course of action. So I don't know. We'll see if that changes my mind about when I want to go grab the other missile expansions or not. Anywho, there are space pirates in here again. They're not shadow pirates, I don't believe, because they have lasers. So anyway, finally we have found the save station, and that's going to be the end of this episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and in the next episode, we may even make it up to the next boss. But stay tuned for episode number 12. Game on!